card. See dealer for complete details.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. You know, life is a mystery, and trying to find good jobs for yourself is sometimes a mystery. Real quick story I want to tell you. When I was a much younger guy, pretty much the kind of jobs I was getting were working like in a factory or washing dishes, you know, those kind of jobs. And the way you get those jobs is you apply. And then you get hired, and then you have a job. And I was playing music, and I was washing dishes at a Holiday Inn, and there was a guy playing music in the lounge, and I thought, wow, that's kind of a cool job. I'd like to be doing that. I play music in my bedroom at home. I want to get a job playing music in a bar and making money. Anyway, so I was talking to somebody about it, and that person said, you know what you need to do? You need to get into the lounge circuit. So it's the lounge circuit. What is that? And then later on, somebody said to me, you know what you need to do? You need to get into the college circuit. And I said, well, how do you get into this whole circuit thing? I mean, it sounds like, okay, my understanding of getting a job was to apply, and you get it, right?
Right.
Okay. So I bumped into a guy, and he decided to share with me about the two circuits, the college circuit and the lounge circuit. And the sharing is what I wanted to focus on right here, because when he shared with me how to do it, it wasn't the same as getting a job as a dishwasher. There was no employer that you applied to. It was, when I don't want to explain it all right now, but the point, it would be hard. I wrote a book about it, like a tiny little book. It's not a big book, but if you're ever interested, and it is free, I believe, on our site, right? But anyway, the point, and that's sharing too, by the way. That's me sharing with the same thing that somebody else shared with me all those years ago. I never heard the term Shareology before, though. So this is the first for me. Bryan Kramer has a book called Shareology. I don't know if he coined the word or not. Bryan is a social business strategist. He's the CEO of Pure Matter. He's a consultant to Fortune 1000 companies. He heads up H2H University, and he's a TED speaker. I've become a big fan of the TED speeches, by the way.
Yeah.
His book is called Shareology, How Sharing is Powering the Human Economy. Bryan Kramer. Good morning, Bryan.
That's an awesome story. Thanks for having me.
No, I'm glad you liked it. I mean, it made all the difference in the world to me, and I paid nothing for it. I don't know if you're sharing, if Shareology has anything to do with exchanges of money, but in a way, I don't see any reason why you can't pay for somebody's sharing. Either way, it should be beneficial.
It is, but just like what you were just saying, sharing is also the new currency. Thought leadership, content, the things that you read, it's all currency, and eventually it leads you back to the original source and being appreciative, or maybe even in reciprocity for what that person did for you. And when you learn enough from someone, then it's highly likely that you want to give back to that person or company. So it's a great story for that reason. Yeah,
well, and a lot of people's lives, their parents, their father might share with the son, or mother might share with the daughter, or with it doesn't matter the gender really. The trade of whatever it is that they do, and that's why a lot of times a son will go into the same business as his father, because he sort of kind of understands it. Yeah, it's there's a lot of different capacity or areas for why we share as we grow up. What fascinated me most is that and I'd ask you guys this: when was the last time you took a class on sharing? Never. I never took a class on sharing.
Never.
It may be, I would venture to say that we've all been in kindergarten, may have been taught a little bit about sharing then, but otherwise, it's not really a class. It's a skill we're all learning, and we've been doing it ever since the beginning of time. And that's what fascinated me, is that it had never been a subject that people were approaching. And I think that social media has really forced it as a topic, as something that maybe we need to start learning. And now social media has become classes in colleges. So maybe it's getting a little closer to learning how to share, but still, it is a skill, and there are many ways for why we share as humans.
And the people aren't threatened as much by sharing anymore as they were years ago, because sometimes people would feel that if they shared their knowledge about something, they would be less valuable, and then they might be fired from their job, or people wouldn't respect them, and somebody else would be able to climb the ladder ahead of them.
That's right. It's become a much more transparent society, a little bit more open. And it also swings the other way, maybe too much in some respects. Maybe it's opened up a little bit of an area of honesty on maybe areas that are tough to talk about, whether you agree or disagree. Politics and religion on social media is a tough topic to bring up, where before it was kept inside of closed circles and groups. So there are now much more, there's a much bigger capacity to talk about just about anything. So now how do we pull that back into what matters most for you? What's going to move the needle to be the best topic or the best sharing mechanisms to help you in your career and your life? That's what this book's about.
And you know what I think about sharing your religious beliefs, your cultural beliefs that are maybe unique to you or to your people, your group of people. I think it actually helps with the whole world peace idea, I hope anyway. And here's why I say that. Before, when the world wasn't as easily accessible as it is now, I could be led to believe by the people who want me to be led to believe that everybody in France is a bad person, or everybody in France is a good person, or Germany, or China, or Japan, or any country, right? But with social media, people are sharing. Okay, so some guy in Japan is sharing his picture of his little grandbaby, and he loves his grandbaby. All right, well, he happens to also believe in what would be a Buddhist. He's a Buddhist, let's say. Okay, so why would I hate a Buddhist, since he loves his grandchildren just as I would love my grandchildren? So I think sharing and knowing these are the differences and these are the similarities, and the similarities are probably greater, and we know that because of the sharing that we do online.
Yet sharing is absolutely one of those things where it's become a little bit harder online, because we can't tell what your body language is. I can't tell the context of what you're saying. I can't sometimes tell the emotion that you're using. In person is so much easier than online, and so we're having to learn how to convey our own what I call social body language, so that people can identify with you. They can, if you've taken communications in college, it's called peeling the onion, because you're working from the outside in, from the thin layers to the thick layers in the inside, to learn about that person and knowing who they really are. And doing that over time on social media is exactly what what we should be doing, but it's again not something that we've been trained to do. So how do we go about doing this the right way without oversharing or saying the wrong things or making other people feel badly? There are different ways. I have actually 6 ways in the book that I talk them through. That helps people to guide them through an actual formula. Okay,
your signal got a little thin. I can hear you fine, but I don't know if the mic moved from your face or something. It got a little thin.
How is that?
That's much better.
Are we good?
That's much better. Okay, I needed to share that with you. All right. So educate me a little bit. Give me an example of what we have been doing and what we should be doing online, I guess, is what we want to know.
Well,
right?
So I did over 250, well over 250 interviews with executives and C-level people and psychologists, linguists, social anthropologists, and it really boiled down to one thing. When I took every interview and I ran it through a system to see what keywords really rose to the top, and the number one keyword that came up is connection. Connection is the reason that we all share. Connection is, we want to share with one or more people to connect. And so, that begs the question of how do you want to connect and who do you want to connect with? So then the next step is, how do you share? So one of the formulas that you can see right clearly in the book is that as you share, what content you share is you are perceived by the content that you share. Let me say that even more clearly. You are what you share. As you share different things, people will start to identify you with you being interested in that, or you being wanting to enhance your career around that. If you were to share The Economist for the next 5 days on articles from The Economist, guess what people are going to start to think about you?
That makes sense. Yeah,
that's the thing. We can change perceptions, and I don't mean to do it in a bad way. Be authentic about it, but at the end of the day, we have the ability to change perceptions simply by the content that we share.
And is that why Silicon Valley has been so focused on these past decades? Because it just seems like when new advancements are made, individuals are coming to the forefront. They always reference Silicon Valley.
You know, Silicon Valley is an interesting place, and I've lived there. I was born there, raised there my whole life. So I'm not sure if I should be the perfect person talking about it, because I'm in the bubble, so to speak. But I do know that it's been very successful based upon just the history. I mean, when computers and chips were born, and now all the social companies are there, and I think it's because because having people in one place is actually much more collaborative. And there is a physical nature to being able to go somewhere physically and actually connect with people and actually build things together. As much as we like to be virtual and say that we can work remotely across the world anywhere, Silicon Valley's built a place where everyone can go and they can feel like they're innovating and they can connect together. But I think that there's other places in the world that are actually have done that and are starting to do that as well.
You know, as radio hosts, Robin and I have a kind of a unique position to share our lives with our listeners, and we're cautious about what we share, and we're selective about what we share. We're selective differently than we would be on social media. For example, when my father died, I did not mention it on the air.
Yeah.
Not right away. I mentioned it after maybe a month or so. I brought it up, but it was so fresh for me, so new for me, and so it impacted me greatly, as you could imagine. But I didn't want it to influence the show. It's kind of the showbiz thing. The show must go on. But on social media, everybody knew. So and the audience is cross. We have people who are friends on social media who also listen to the show, so they would know. But intentionally, I guess the way we were delivering those pieces of information to share, we're very selective. And so I guess what I'm saying is I can see what you're saying about changing the people's perceptions of us based on what we share.
Exactly. You know, we share things every day that we think are interesting to our friends, to our audience. But what if we tried different things to see if it resonated differently? What if we did try to share The Economist one day, or something different that made that was outside of our comfort zone? And I'll bet that you'll start to see a change or a shift in what people see. You know, there's so many different things about us, and as we start to open up, and I did that a few years ago. And that's what my TED Talk is actually about: how sharing reimagined my own, and how it completely shifted my entire life. If you go back and watch the TED Talk, I walk through the exact steps that it took for me to do that, and how I started to change the topics and the things that I talked about that changed the world. And then we did an example and a test from the stage and had people actually do that, and it resonated and trended around the world. So I proved basically from the stage that and because we did this test live and everyone else shared, and they started to see how this resonated, and they started to bubble up in all these different countries, and people were starting to share things, and boom, we had we had them resonating loudly everywhere else in the world, and it was just a really awesome thing to be a part of. But to your point, yes, you can change. You can share things that are outside your comfort zone that may just make a difference and change the course of your own life or career.
I'm going to ask you if we can just put you on hold just for a second so we can listen to a few commercials, and we'll be back. And if you could demonstrate that on the other side of the break, that would be outstanding. And if not, we'll continue talking. The book is called Shareology: How Sharing is Powering the Human Economy. Bryan Kramer is our guest. I have to check out the TED Talk from Bryan. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, more clouds and sun, along with a couple of showers and thunderstorms, high 82 to 86. There'll be a shower and thunderstorm around tonight. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies overnight, low 71 to 75. For tomorrow, considerable cloudiness with a couple of showers and heavy thunderstorms around, high 82 to 86. And for Friday, variable cloudiness with a couple of showers and thunderstorms, high 85 to 89. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Career Source Citrus Levy Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source Citrus Levy Marion and learn how they can help you.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
All right, 22 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. This is an interesting topic. Bryan Kramer is on the phone. His book is called Shareology: How Sharing is Powering the Human Economy. Bryan is, gosh, he's got so many credentials, and one of them is the fact that he has been one of those guys that gave those TED Talks.
Yeah.
I don't know, TED, there's a whole bunch of different TED Talks. I don't even know what TED means.
No.
Is there a guy named Ted? I don't even know what it means.
know.
I just watch him. Okay, Bryan, before the break, you gave us, you told us about a TED Talk, kind of a demonstration that you did, and I was wondering if you could do that with us.
Sure, I could try. We would need Twitter for this.
Oh, really?
But it would be interesting to see if your listeners would try to, if we could do this. I'd love to see if we could all make Twitter go off. So yeah, would you mind if we did that right now?
Sure. So we have to go to Twitter?
We do all have to go to Twitter.
Okay, I'm going to Twitter right now. I'm there. Boy, that was quick. Okay, it was all set up.
Okay,
I guess
you're fast.
Somebody knew I was going to do this.
All right.
I guess. Okay.
Now everyone will. What I'd ask everybody to do is here's the question I'm going to ask you. I want you to think in your mind what you're going to tweet. Obviously, you have 140 characters.
Right.
When you do tweet, your answer needs to include the hashtag Sharing Inspires. That's the only way that we're going to be able to track all the responses.
Okay, hashtag Sharing Inspires. Okay.
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 Now, I want you to think about this question. How could you inspire someone and change the world through sharing?
And that's what I write in here?
I want you to write your response.
The answer.
Okay. How would I?
What could you do that would change the world through sharing?
To inspire others.
To inspire others. That's right.
What could I do? Should I tell you what it is, or should I just type it?
You know,
Inspire.
you could do you. By the way, everything goes. I had responses like helping people across the street. I had helping at a homeless shelter. I had one person say, and I'll just keep talking while you guys are typing your tweet.
Okay.
You know, I had somebody say, you know, I wanted to help solve in Africa. This was a person in Africa who said, I want to help solve sex trafficking in Africa. I had one person who said, I want to be able to push the button on a microwave that says pizza and just automatically have pizza come out of the oven. I was like, there's humorous stuff, there was emotional stuff, there were so many things. There's no wrong answer. The point is that that you're sharing something you have never shared before. And the more that you do that, the more that you share things online that you don't share normally, the more you're going to change the course of what people understand about you. The more transparent you're going to be, and the more comfortable people are going to be in getting to know you.
Okay. I shared. I'm going to hit the tweet button. Before I do, I have to read it to you. And I was the exact number of characters, too. It worked out to be 0 at the end. So I put, I could change the world by encouraging people to share that they are just as strong and just as fragile as the rest of us.
Nice.
Wow.
Perfect.
That's what I'm tweeting. So
Very deep.
because if I knew that nobody was stronger than me and nobody was weaker than me, then I would know that there's no sense in fighting anybody.
Yeah, everybody's equal.
But how are you going to convince ISIS of that? That's
No, you can't do it.
But I think if the message got through and everybody understood, I don't know. I'm trying to campaign for my point here. So that, okay, I just did that, and hashtag sharing inspires. So we'll see what happens there. The book is called Shareology. Ology usually means it's the study of. So you've actually been studying sharing.
That's right. That's exactly right. It is the study of sharing, and it's evolving, and it's not a book that's closed by any means. There's things change all the time. It also, the way that the book is broken down is between the science and art and the science. So it's the share and the ology. You can skip to the science, which is the in the trenches how-to. I actually walk through Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and I interviewed people on each of those, the top experts in each of those, to show you how to use each of them and how to share. And then there's the art side, and that's the euphoric side. That's kind of what we just did. That's the how to be you, how to find you, and it also walks through the 6 different types of sharers and help pick out which one you're going to be.
You equate content to currency, which is very, very fascinating because a person needs currency to survive.
Yeah, at the end of the day, think about how door-to-door salesmen used to walk around, right, from selling whatever vacuums, and they would actually go tell you about their product, and those times are obviously gone. Now content has taken its place. We want to be informed. We want to be informed on our own terms. We don't want someone coming up to our door and selling us. We want to be able to go into something and learn about it over time without having to feel the pressure of a sale, and learn a little bit about it that we otherwise wouldn't learn from a salesperson. That gives us the ability to maybe become a little bit more of an expert on that topic or that thing. And once we learn enough, that's where reciprocity kicks in. You'll never forget that person made you, that person educated you more on that topic. Mm-hmm. So if you read on average 7 things, or you have 7 high touches with any given thing, the chances of you actually closing a sale or turning into an advocate for that product or service or person is way higher. And so content starts to become the salesperson. It's a much easier way to get to know people.
And I think that's what every great person has said to me. And whenever I've had a great salesperson here at the radio station, I always say, "What makes you different than the others?" And I've always heard this: I don't sell. I go and then I become friends with everybody, and eventually they buy. Yeah. So I guess that's part of it. I guess that's part of being a friend, is to share things. Mm-hmm. I love the topic. No wonder you were invited to TED. Who is TED? Is there a guy named Ted?
No? It's and you'll forgive me, I can't remember the D for some reason. It's escaping me. But TED is technology, education, and then again I don't remember the D. I'll have to look it up. But,
development, maybe.
It is oh yeah. Thank you.
It is development. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so these TED happens globally. I think it's twice a year, and there are TEDx's that happen in every local community. I was honored to actually be on the global TED stage.
Wow, that's cool.
And it was really, really a ton of work. I put in
Bryan?
over 300 hours into it.
We have to wrap it up. Brian's website is BryanKramer.com, Bryan. I have a copy of the book, Shareology. Call me if you want the copy that was sent to us. I'll share it with you and give it to you. Thank you, Bryan. Thank you for being on the air with us today.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate
it.
It.
We'll be right back.
1 million Move voters getting another chance to see top GOP candidates face off tonight in debate number 2.
Frontrunner Donald Trump says he's going to wing it.
As far as the research, I've sort of been doing it for the last 30 years, I guess.
After being in the second-tier debate last time, businesswoman Carly Fiorina is going to be on the main stage tonight along with Trump.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland.
Even though she's been the subject of his attacks, she says people don't ask her about him.
They ask me about their health care or their kids' education or how we're going to defeat ISIS.
11 candidates will participate in the 8 p.m. Eastern Time CNN debate.
Police say a gunfight involving people in 2 cars in Kansas City, Missouri has left 1 person dead, 6 children in critical condition, and 173,000 child car seats being recalled by Recaro Child Safety because a top tether can detach from the seat in a crash. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Meet Vince. Vince hurt himself mountain biking on Saturday.
Because weekend warrior.
Because noob.
Hey.
Vince is supposed to host an important presentation, but he's not going anywhere in that cast. What should he do?
Rhetorical question.
Vince should try GoToMeeting, the simple way to host meetings online, complete with video conferencing and screen sharing. Send out a meeting link and anyone can join from any computer, tablet, or smartphone. Just takes a click.
Where do I sign up?
Visit GoToMeeting.com to start your free 30-day trial. That's GoToMeeting.com.
Right now at the Home Depot, save 20% when you buy 1 or more pallets of in-stock GAF shingles. So let's raise the roof and lower the cost with bulk pricing on top-of-the-line GAF shingles, including Timberline, America's favorite shingle. This is worth shouting from the rooftops. Let's do this. Save 20% on 1 or more pallets of in-stock GAF shingles at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through September 30th, U.S. only. See store for details.
Are you in need of custom screen printing, embroidery, or promotional items? Then look no further and come visit the brand new Legacy Team Sales. LTS is conveniently located off 17th Street next to Armstrong Homes in beautiful Ocala. We offer the best prices and highest quality products for your company, team, school, or nonprofit. Whether looking for screen printed shirts, embroidered polos, or travel team uniforms, you'll be sure to find it at Legacy Team Sales. Come visit our new 27,000 square foot facility. Our friendly and knowledgeable sales staff will assist you in